Yes, so in continuation, also another thing to know is the optical center um, of the lenses. This is where the optical center is for the lenses, for the convex lens, where this two is. So this is the optical center, the convex lens. So this is where the optical center is. Because that's very important. And then this for the concave, this is where the optical center is. So having known that, that's where the location of the optical center for those plus and then the minus lens. The meaning is that if you look at this flat top now, okay, so you can see the top is flat. If you know, again, if you want to do add, you won't use the whole complete lens to put the to add it to the distance. It's just the half of it. The half of it can be um upper half or can be lower half. In this flat top, you see that's actually the lower half that is used. Okay, and then this round top is the upper half that is used. So this is the lower half that is used. So the complete half will now be very complete like this. Can you see? Hypothetically complete it. You now see that the optical center of that flat top that you are using the lower half is there. That's why you're able to know the optical center. So when you complete the half, so because it's a plus length, so you just complete it, and then you now see that oh, it's actually a plus length. So the optical center is half is here that is labeled there. So this is the optical center of the flat sub. So it's when you complete the other half, that's where it's located. So optical center. So that's the optical center for that flat top. Because again, it's where if you put the other half there, so where the two of them is where the meters optical center. You know, remember I said it's here. That's the optical, this is optical center of the negative lens, and then this is the optical center of the positive lens. All right, so let's do for the round top. So for the round top, if you complete it, so you see it's the upper half that is used. So the lower other half, you see, you can see this other part of the complete lens. So the lower half here, this is where it's located. So that means the optical center of the round top is there. So that's the optical center. So that means the optical center is there. So the implications that the optical center of round top is down. Okay, that may be very important in MCQ. You can see the optical center is down because we are using the upper half. So the other half is down. So the optical center is definitely can see is down here. Because that's how we understand the principle behind image jump and all. And so this one, the optical center is up. Can see is up. It's closer up here. So so the optical center of flat top, optical center of flat top lens is up. So that's very, very important to understand to understand that. So now the image jump and image displacement we talk about in that video. So the image jump, what does it mean? We said it's a sudden change in image location when you move from down from the distance case to the near um case. So let's explain that. Let's assume you have a patient that is aparope and using a convex lens, to correct the vision for the distance. Okay, so let's assume this is the distance, prescriptional is a convex lens, is an aparope. So again, this is a convex lens because aparope. And of course, that's the distance because you can see it's the full length that we use. That's the distance. It's not like the neck that we use some part of the lens. And so this patient now needed add. So you used add. The add you use, let's assume you use a flat top. Can you see? A flat, no, let's start with a round top first. So I understand the principle. Let's use a round top as add. Let me just put that very well so that you get it. So just add a top so that for this convex lens. So I see this is a round top bifocal that you use a round top for that. So when you use the round top, remember that we said the round top, the optical center is down, okay, and then you know that the lens is okay. All of things that I was supposed to have said before is the prismatic effect of lenses. There's something called prismatic effect of lenses. If you have the lenses, they act as prisms toward the periphery, meaning that let me use this diagram to explain that this is the optical center of the lens. So any ray that is coming to the optical center like this, they always go undivided. They don't have any much power, so they just go like that smoothly without causing any more significant bending. But the more they are going toward the periphery, the more the power, the bending will be more. So the more they are going, the more the bending will be more. So that's prismatic effect of lenses. So the more they are close to the periphery of lenses, the more the refraction is going to be. You may want to watch okay, the cool course to understand more, that more better. So, but the idea is that once the rays are going toward the periphery, the prismatic effect increases. So they bend more, they are more powerful toward the periphery. So the best to avoid any prismatic effect to pass to the optical center because what causes the image jump is the prismatic effect of lenses. It's because you are looking through the prisma, the periphery of the lens, so which has a lot of high prismatic effect. And so let now explain that here. So in convex lens, hyperope lens, let us use a round top. Can I see this is a round top as I've said, round top. And so you let assume the rays is coming on, it's coming to the optical center, and then it just go like that to center. Then you now look down, you shift your gaze from the distance, which is the hair. This is the distance. Don't forget that. So that is the distance. Let me just shift this. So that is the distance prescriptions. And then this is the name. The name at. Now, you are now moving from the distance prescriptions to the near. You can see when the rays was moving, it was actually passing to almost optical center, stick fair enough. But now you were just there's a sudden change. You are moving from distance to the near. When you are looking, remember the optical center of this round top is down. So you're actually looking through the periphery of the lens that we said has a lot of prismatic effects. We said it has a lot of prismatic effects. So it's going to bend it's going to cause a lot of diffraction at that point. So when you're moving from a distance and then you move in the round top, you look down. By the time you look down, you are looking to the periphery of the lens. So you have a lot of significant image jump here. And so that's the image jump we are talking about. So you can see that because you are moving from the distance to the near, when you look down, you are looking to the apex of the prisms. which is the periphery of the prism. This is the optical center here because it's on top. The optical center is down. So you're going to treat the periphery. So there's going to be a lot of prismatic effect. So we have the image jump. So this round top here, top for convex lens of hyperopia, we produce a lot of image jump because you are seeing through the periphery of the lens. So you'll be looking through the periphery. So you have a lot of image jump. So you can see that. So that means the best, let's do the other one. Let's do the flat top for a convex lens. So again, this is a distance, discussions, because that's how to think about it. So the distance discussions, and then we want to change our add so flat top. So now I now choose that. Oh, I'm not using top. What I want to use is a flat top. So let's put it flat top as a hard. So that means that technically, so let's do it now. Can you see here? So you are moving through technically of same optical center in the two. You can see it's going toward the base, like they are closer to the optical center. This one too. Remember the optical center of a flat stop is up. Remember when you complete it like this, what we said. So the optical center is up. So that's why we said this is the optical center. So that means actually passing through the optical center or very close to the optical center. So there is not going to be any image jump there because just going to no bending, no refraction too much because it's not going to the periphery. So when you look down, you're actually going to be seeing through to the top to the optical center because you are using a flat stop. So, and that's why flat stop is going to reduce image jump, which is a very, very important MCQ in convex lens, which we use for hyperopia, used to correct hyperopia. And that's the idea of using a flat top to, that would be the best lens. That would be very useful for a patient that has hyperopia that using a convex lens because for the hard segment, the optical center are very close to each other. So patient will have less image jump. Okay. So let's now do for the concave lens. So for the concave lens, which we used to call it myopia. So again, concave lens is Hipes. So let's do diagram, Hipes. There are actually more extensive videos on instruments, on other part of optics, transpositions, Becker equivalents, almost everything in optics diagram, optical diagram that I can think of in the full course, which you can subscribe to and have access and watch the video at your convenience. So the link is on the YouTube channel. So now if you love more of these videos, this occasional video, you can also subscribe to the channel. So as we say, this is a concave lens that's used to correct the my. So let's see which will be our best option. Of course, this is the distance prescriptions. Okay, so let's assume I decide to use a round top first. A round top. Just show that. So a round top. So this my I just want to use a round top of my, okay, that's what I want. I just assume that. And so that means you can see the optical center, as I've said, for the negative is there. So if ray is coming to that place and you're looking down, like you are looking, you're shifting your gaze from the distance to the near, you see that you're actually going to be seeing into the periphery. Can see a lot of nature because refraction is going to be more toward the periphery of the lens. And you know, around top, the optical center is located down, as we've said, which you have said multiple times. Okay, so you are moving far away from the optical center when you look down. And so, if you use a round top with a negative lens, there's going to be a lot of image of round top with negative lens will produce lots of image jump. So that's why you won't want to use in round top the negative lens. Okay. So let's use the flat stop and see. Again, distance is there, apex to apex. Okay, so now I want to use, we used round top before, now I want to use a flat uh, top. So let me just make it like this. I'm cementing the flat top to, which is my add to the distance. So if I'm using a flat stop, so let's pick that. So you can see if you are looking from the distance to the near, you see that you're actually going to be looking to the Oscar center. Remember the Oscar center of the flat stop is up. So you see you're actually going to be looking to the Oscar center. And then so you can see the way you can leave the image jump in mode is using a flat stop. So that means flat top is good for both hyper and hyper mild to reduce image jump. So flat top is used to reduce image jump. So we want to reduce image jump. We don't want patient to have image jump. When they have when they use bifurcated, they are complaining. It's like it's moving at them and not. We should use flat stop for both uh, patient, both the upper and mild. You have to take note of this. Very, very, very important in MCQs. And this is how to actually have have an idea of what kind of prismatic effect they are going to produce, and then the mechanism of the image jump, and then how to correct it. All those calculations in the preaching show, you have to go and watch the video on optics. It's made easy to understand that. Now, so that's that about that. But there's another thing we call executive or bifocal. The idea of the executive or bifocal, which you commonly use in children, is that we don't want this jump up and down. So because it's executive or frankly um lens. So it's actually Franklin. So what is just that? Okay, normally what we're doing is that we have a complete um distance. Normally we had a complete distance like this, and then um we had a complete distance, and then we now had ads or something beside like this. So that's like two lenses. But in Franklin, what the idea of the lenses was, instead of having a complete distance, you just have a distance zone. You just pick the upper half of the convex lens. If you are using convex lens, just pick the upper half and then put a larger head. Of course, head at least has more power because it's it's meant for shorter distance. It's meant for near vision. So and just put like that. So that it's just a single line that will bisect the two. So it's not going to be, you're not using a multiple lens to move. When you move like this, you're just going through immediately. So you are just using, it's like you just divide the glasses into two like this. So that's how Franklin so appears. So it's because you've cut the half of the distance and then you move the other, you place the bottom half with the hard lens. So it's just going continuously like that, just like a single lens. I just divide into two. Of course, the hard will be bigger than the other one. So same thing for the concave too. You could also do that in Franklin. So rather than be cementing one art to another and be having image job. So Franklin does not even, there is no image job at all in the executive. And because of this, just divide the length. So you pick half, upper half for the stance. And then for the nail, if you want a flat top or a round top or whatever you want, you make it there and you put it. And so like Kena is a flat top that is it. So you can see, and so it's continuous, not that it's cemented. You cut the half of the distance, you hit place to place for the head of the nail, so that it will just be like that. The distance is half, the nail is half, and such that there is no image jump in the executive, so no image jump at all, jump in executive, and it's commonly used for children actually. So executive lens. So that's that about the image jump.